Ravens general manager Eric DeCosta telling reporters at the Combine this week he doesn't have answers as to why the team has not been able to draft an elite wide receiver. Well, Ravens wideout Rashod Bateman decided to respond to DeCosta on Twitter. Bateman said, quote, "How about you play to your players' strengths and stop pointing the finger at us and Lamar Jackson? Blame the one you let do this. We take heat 24/7. Woo-hoo, Shannon. Jump on in. What is going on in Baltimore?
I think the thing is, Skip, a lot of people in Baltimore, the players, I shouldn't say a lot of people, the players are frustrated because they see the effort, the work that Lamar has put in, and he's not being compensated.
So you think it starts there?
It starts there.
Okay.
I think it starts there. But also the receivers, everybody that talks about the Ravens, that analyze, critique the Ravens, says their wide receiver play is inadequate. If they had a Justin Jefferson, if they had a Jamar Chase, if they had one of these elite-level receivers, Lamar Jackson, if you think he's good now, he would go through the stratosphere. You don't think Bateman hears that?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he was supposed to be Justin Jefferson, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
But he also, Skip, is that he got injured. DeCosta said, for whatever reason, sometimes it's tied to the quarterback. Yep. Sometimes it's tied to injuries, guys not being able to stay on the field. But it's not like, and it's easy, Skip, it's easy. Maybe you like Minnesota, you just sit pat, and Justin Jefferson falls out the sky like, damn, look what I caught. Or you like the Dallas Cowboys, you sit in your bed like, damn, look what I got. CD Lamb fell in my lap.
He fell in your lap.
The Ravens.
And after CD fell in their lap, Justin Jefferson fell in their lap.
Exactly. Okay. Skip, and so the Ravens, if you look at the Ravens, they go, when you got a great quarterback, normally you're making the playoffs, you're going to be picking in the 20s. You're not going to be, the Olaves and the Wilsons and all those guys, the Drake London, Skip, they were off the board. And in order for the Ravens to pick 20, do you realize what you got to move up if you're in the 20s to go up the board 12, 13, 14 slots? Mm-hmm. The Ravens like, man, we're more than a receiver away. And they try to go, they've tried it in the draft, Skip. They took Hollywood Brown. That didn't pan out.
He was pretty good, but he wasn't that guy. Yep.
When they put Hollywood, think about it, Skip. They took Hollywood in 2019. He was the first receiver off the board. The Pats took N'Keal Harry. That didn't work out. Mm-hmm. Look at the receivers that went in the second and third rounds. Debo, A.J. Brown, D.K. Metcalf, Malorn, Renfro were always taken second through the fifth rounds. Okay. Skip, is not an exact science. You think picking quarterbacks is hard? Try picking receivers. Because Skip, you never know. You see guys that win the Biletnikoff Award like, well, damn, they can't get off press coverage.
Well, a whole bunch of people made a mistake because this seventh rounder named Shannon Sharp's in the Hall of Fame. So how many people swung and missed on you?
Ain't no way 191 players were better than I was. I don't care what they say.
I don't care what they say. And I don't know how many tight ends went ahead. Well, you were more of a receiver type.
Yes.
But how many receivers went before you went in the seventh round? A whole bunch.
A bunch. Okay. And so, Skip, I think the thing is that he's frustrated that the criticism that the receiving corps is getting, but DeCosta said it's on us that we haven't been able to land an all-pro receiver through the draft. And Skip, I don't care what anybody says. Everybody says, ooh, Lamar Jackson is great. Ooh, Lamar Jackson is great. Top flight receivers are not lining up to go to Baltimore. No. Don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you. If given a choice, would you rather go play with Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes? Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow? Lamar Jackson or Justin Herbert? Lamar Jackson or Trevor Lawrence? That mean, come on, people. Y'all get mad on Shannon. I'm just being factual. I'm just telling you.
I think they're underestimating just how lethal of a dart thrower Lamar can be. I have high regard for him as a thrower of the football.
Yes, but just saying.
The perception is go with those guys.
But the same money, guys are going to go. Now, if Baltimore blow them out the water, just like Cincinnati, people are going to go to Cincinnati even though they know if they blow them out the water.
Yep.
And that's just what it is. I think the frustration, and then you get all this on top of that, Skip. The report came out about the training staff, strength and conditioning coaches that wasn't very good.
Yeah, well, they fired him.
And it seems like everything is just piling on, in which I am shocked.
They fired the head strength coach just recently.
Yes. Yeah. Skip, I'm surprised because that's not what the Ravens are known for. No. They normally talk to the opposing team,
they do.
But they don't normally have a whole lot to say that's coming out of that locker room towards the coaches or things of that nature. So I'm surprised that this is how it is. But I think, the leadership, when we were there and then Ray took that thing over and then Suggs and those guys, agreed. I don't think this would have been coming out of the locker room.
It would not have been. Okay, you played for this organization.
I did.
This organization has led the league in doing it the right way for decades. Play like a Raven. It has class and dignity and character and clutchness and all of the right intangibles emanated from this franchise, right?
Yep.
And all of a sudden, it's feeling like it's a mess to me. From the outside in, to your point, that there seems to be nobody at the wheel who can right the ship or turn the car back onto the road, because there's no Shannon Sharp there. There's no Ray Lewis there. There's no Suggs. There's Lamar. He was the face of the franchise.
Right.
And they have, in his eyes, disrespected him to the point that he just half-heartedly showed up last year because he said, you're going to do this to me after all I did for you.
And they're looking, Skip, and they're looking at that as, hold on. This is Lamar Jackson. He's won an MVP. The guy plays his ass off. If they do him like that, they going to give me my money. If they treat him like that, how you think they're going to treat me?
Right, and that ain't over yet. That's about to get worse.
Yes, yes.
So this all started, and by the way, they miss Ozzie at the wheel, too, because you know Ozzie very well.
Yeah.
Ozzie Newsome, he's also in the Hall of Fame.
He's still there. He's still around.
He's still there, but he doesn't have the hands-on because he sort of had to pass the mantle to Eric DeCosta, so he's in charge now.
Yeah.
So to your first point about Eric DeCosta's quotes, he's actually trying to accept the blame for this. He didn't do it full on because he's acting like we just haven't gotten a break, you know, like we've swung and missed, but we're going to, it's not for lack of effort.
Right.
Well, nobody doesn't try hard in the draft. They all try hard.
Exactly.
Okay. He calls it an anomaly that they haven't been able to hit on a wide receiver up higher in the draft.
Right.
Well, it's kind of like it's on you.
Right.
And as hard as you just said it was, at some point, you just got to pull it off.
Yeah.
You got to hit on one of those guys. You got to find a Debo in the second, third
But they
round.
kind of had the same success, kind of like the Patriots. Skip, you look at the receivers that they've drafted in the first round and all the high picks, they've been terrible. Edelman, 7th round pick. Or they traded for a Wes Welker, who's an undrafted free agent. Or they get free agency Danny Amendola. But if you look at the picks,
he's undrafted.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you look at the picks, the Chad Jacksons and all those,
down to N'Keal Harris.
It was bad.
Here's the other quote that just really hit me right between the eyes. This one from Rashod Bateman. Blame the one you let do this. I think he's saying you should blame, it's something about coaching. Right? It's something about, is it John Harbaugh that's being called into question
what do you say, play to their strengths?
He says you're not letting us play to our strengths. So he's saying you should blame the one you let do this to us, not play to our strengths. Well, isn't that a coaching issue?
Yeah, but I'm saying, so what do you, Bateman, what do you think your strengths are?
I don't know.
You think so? You think?
By the way, when he was healthy last year, I saw flashes of first round.
Right. And you know, Skip, they took Duvernay. They've taken some guys and tried to make it, but it's just. I mean, when you look at Hollywood, when you're Hollywood size, you take a receiver that high in the first round.
Yeah.
He better be Tyreek Hill.
Okay. Yeah. And by the way, from a distance, he's obviously in Arizona, but Hollywood Brown replied in a tweet that had a screenshot of Rashod Bateman's post with the caption, "Let him cook." So he was co-signing, he was endorsing.
He's basically saying, look, y'all need to let Lamar Jackson throw the football instead of just having him run that zone, run the football. But Skip, you look, they drafted 6 wideouts in the last. Hollywood in the first round, Miles Boykin, who's now at the Steelers, Devin Duvernay, who plays well, Prochet, the 6th round, Bateman, 1st round, Tylan Wallace in the 4th round.
No, you got to be better.
Yeah, you got to.
Or at some point, Eric DeCosta is going to lose his job.
You got and Skip. But if you go back, I look at Ozzie. Ozzie didn't hit on wide receivers. He drafted Travis Taylor at number 10.
He did.
Travis Taylor wasn't very good. He drafted Mark Clayton out of Oklahoma. You remember Mark Clayton? He wasn't very good. But Ray Lewis, Jonathan Ogden, Terrell Suggs, Ed Reed, Marshall Yonder, Orlando Brown, Peter Boulware. So you're not going to hit even Coach Belichick. Coach Belichick can have 50. He can say, on my resume, I got Gronk, I got Tom Brady, I got two top 100 players in the history of the game.
He does.
So, because he's swung and whipped a lot.
A whole lot. And gotten away with it until now.
Skip, remember he took those 2 tight ends?
Yep.
He
Took 2 of them.
2 of them.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if either one's on the team because the next year he went free agency and got 2 more.
Yep.
It's man, people think it's easy. Oh, they should have got you say he should have got, somebody should have drafted Aaron Donald after Aaron Donald win 3 defensive players of the year. Well, if Aaron Donald doesn't win those 3, then what are you saying? It's easy to say that, Skip. Hindsight.
Yep.
It ain't easy. But I'm gonna look at the tape. Because, guys, I love the guy, Dan Campbell. He said, man, I look at game tape. He said, people coming out here running in pajamas, and y'all going up and down. Now, I want that to match. I want the combine to match what I see on tape.
Yeah.
But if somebody didn't play good on tape and they get out there and run fast and jump high, I'm like, well, I didn't see that on tape. So now either I got to really go back and evaluate what did we miss. Did they play him out of position?
Yep.
Was he not in the right scheme?
Yep.
What's going on? But
I've told you from the start, I can't agree with you more because the combine just becomes a track meet.
That's it.
Unfortunately, NFL games are not track meets.
Skip, guys as soon as the game now, because Skip, unless you play in a national championship game, guys are leaving they're not even playing in the bowl. No. And they go right to Arizona, they go to Florida, come to California, and all they do, they get ready for the 40, they get ready for the cone drill, the vert, and all that stuff. So Skip, basically, it's 2 months to do those 5, it's a job interview. And you know the exact question that the boss is going to ask you. Mm-hmm. You better ace it. Mm-hmm. You had 8 weeks to prepare. You know he's going to ace it. Oh, his favorite color is blue. I'm going to have me a blue blazer on. Hey, you know what? He's
true. Hey. That's true.
So that's what they do right now, Skip. But I'm looking at the game tape. And Bateman, I think he can be really good.
Yeah.
But they need to get this situation sooner than later to resolve with Lamar, Skip.
They better. The whole thing's going to crumble.
Yeah, Skip. I mean, and he's not going to be happy with a franchise tag.
He is not.
They're talking about non-exclusive. You can make it non-exclusive. You can make it exclusive. The mere fact that you say tag. And I don't know how you bridge a gap, $100 million gap, Skip.
No.
$100 million gap you normally be on billion-dollar deals.
Agreed.
Not on hundreds of million dollar. I don't know how you bridge that. I mean, ESPN say we're standing by that Lamar wants his contract fully guaranteed. Lamar says, I didn't say that. Somebody's leaking some information because somebody's trying to get the public on their side, Skip. Yep. That's all I'm saying.
Always happens. It doesn't feel right.
There's a lot of work to be done at the negotiating table in Baltimore, as well as the draft table, that's for sure. All right, Skip, let's talk a little bit about your Cowboys. Does Mike McCarthy have the magic formula to get them a Super Bowl ring? I know you're hoping so. Let's debate when we come back.